Oh my gosh. The first verse is Leviticus 19:13.
19:13. Wait. ESV. Okay, I'm just gonna screen. Okay, what's our?
Just say it. Read it out
You
loud.
shall not oppress your neighbor or rob him. The wages of a hired worker shall not remain with you all night until the morning. Okay, what's our discussion about it?
Does it apply? Is the principle here for us to keep? Explain.
I say yes.
Yeah. It is the law, and wasn't the law thing like if the law, like you can keep the principle, but there's no consequences for not.
Yeah, like you don't have to keep the law, but you can keep the principle.
Yeah.
I think you should keep the principle, like do not oppress your neighbor or rob him, like still treat him the right way. Like you, and fairly, like the wages of a hired worker shall not remain with you all night until the morning. Like you should pay what's due when it's owed, like when you're supposed to.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense? Okay, thank you. We're at dinner.
We're at dinner. Yeah, I agree. I don't know what else to say. I can look up the thing.
You can look up like
Price
or wages.
Leviticus, what is it again?
1913.
Because 1913. Interlinear. Should we do? Oh, this one says you shall not cheat. Is that the same thing?
Oh, you shall not cheat. So like, kind of what you're saying, like don't like pay when it's owed and not like try to.
Don't try to trick them.
Yeah. He just emailed me and said, see if you, Danny, and Maddie can be a group.
Yep, we can.
I will be delaying you 1 to 2 minutes since you and Danny are A students from another class just in case you win. I will be able to say there was a slight delay for joining the other section. Other than that, it should be fine.
Yeah. I feel like we answered the first one.
Okay.
I feel like we answered the first one.
I think so too. Okay, what's the next verse?
The next verse is Isaiah 7. Wait, no, sorry. It's Leviticus. Sorry. 19:20 through 23.
19:20 through 23. Okay. If a man lies sexually with a woman who is a slave assigned to another man and not yet ransomed or given her freedom, a distinction shall be made. They shall not be put to death because she was not set free, but he shall bring his compensation to the Lord to the entrance of the tent of meeting, a ram for a guilt offering. And the priest shall make atonement for him with the ram of the guilt offering before the Lord for his sin that he has committed, and he shall be forgiven for the sin that he has committed. When you come into the land and plant any kind of tree for food, then you shall regard its fruit as forbidden. 3 years it shall be forbidden to you. It must not be eaten. I'm a little confused, guys.
We can look at the Bible commentary for that.
That's a good one. Is it the same question? Should we keep the question
Yeah,
for it?
Uh, 19:20.
It's considered a sin? So I guess if he's...
Wait, it's 19:20, right?
Yeah, you said Leviticus 19:20 to 23, right?
Yeah. Leviticus 19. What's it called? The commentary we're using is Enduring the Word, and I believe it's trustworthy, is what I remember, what I know. 1920. Okay. This says, so the first part where it says whoever lies, this one says carnally with a woman who is betrothed to a man as a concubine. It says this deals with a woman who is a concubine, and since she was a slave girl who is eligible to be married, this is the situation described. A slave girl is engaged to marry a free man, and then a different man has sex with her. Normally, the penalty was death. But because the woman was not a slave and was presumed to not be free to resist, the penalty was not death. Yet because of the rape, she was not married to her fiance, so he must be like punished. Then the moral guilt would be settled by a sacrifice, and presumptually the man who had sex with her would be obliged to marry her. It says with the appropriate sacrifice, the sin could be forgiven. So in that case, it reminds me of like the thing where it's like, we don't need the sacrifice to be saved anymore, but you still should like be remorseful
Yeah.
and come to God with that. That you just don't need a sacrifice anymore for like making this kind of mistake.
Yeah. I'm looking at the Bible Hub ones also.
I see that. She said keep it between what?
15, 16. So what do we think about it? Just like
That obvious, like, the moral principle of it is still relevant, but we don't need a sacrifice to make it all better.
Like there should be like a remorse and apology and stuff.
Yeah.
And like
you should
repenting for it.
Yeah, there should still be repentance.
Okay, what's the next verse?
Oh wait, yes, we did. Next one is Isaiah 7:13 through 14.
Maddie, do you have an A in the class too?
Yeah.
He doesn't want us to win. Okay.
Have over here?
Yes, thank you.
You all three had it right.
I had a Sprite.
And I had a Coke.
And he said, "Hear then, O house of David, is it too little for you to weary men, that you weary my God also? Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel." This one is, what is this passage about? Does it apply to Jesus and Christmas? Explain. I think it does apply to Jesus and Christmas because it's about the birth of Jesus.
It's prophecy, isn't it?
Yeah, with Mary. So prophecy, and then what do we think it means when it says, "Is it too little for you to weary men that you weary my God also"?
Do a word study on the word weary, I think.
What was the verse? Isaiah 7:14.
7:13, 14.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To try the patience, so like to
weary, to be tired, to be exhausted. To be weary or impatient.
okay, impatient, so like
Patience would be more tired. Be slow, hesitating after difficulty. So like hesitating, hesitation, impatient again.
Can you pull up the Bible verse again?
Yeah. And he said, "Hear then, O house of David, is it too little for you to weary men that you weary my God also?" So it could be like, are you still doubting me? Or like impatient, like hesitant. Like, are you still hesitant? Like, oh, is it not enough for you to just like be impatient with like man, that you are also patient with me?
It could also be like talking about like impatient with the coming of Christ instead of fortunate with the coming of Christ. Like, are you impatient? that information.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Okay. Final answer. What's our next one?
Wait, do we do it?
Yes.
Does it apply to Jesus and Christmas? Yes.
Yes. Prophecy, coming to Jesus, stuff like that.
The last
The
one
Messiah.
is Psalm 74, 10 through 17.
74, 10 through 17. How long, O God, is the foe to scoff? Is the enemy to revile, your name forever? Why do you hold back your hand, your right hand? Take it from the fold of your garment and destroy them. Yet God, my King, is from of old, working salvation in the midst of the earth. You divided the sea by your might. You broke the heads of the sea monsters on the waters. You crushed the heads of Leviathan. You gave him food for the creatures of the wilderness. You split open springs and brooks. You dried up every flowing streams. Yours is the day, yours also the night. You have established the heavenly lights and the sun. You have fixed all the boundaries of the earth. You have made summer and winter. So we can look up context for it. Yeah. Because it's asking to describe the event. And I'm also going to look at the Psalm 74, 10 through 17. I'm also going to look at the NIV to see if that helps make it more readable. New.
A search movie?
You're right.
No, it's just.
What do you put New International Version? Search. There you go. The New International Version says, how long will the enemy mock you, God? Will the foe revile your name forever? Why do you hold back your hand, your right hand? Take it to the fold of your garment, destroy them. But God is my King from long ago. He brings salvation on earth. It was you who split open the sea by your power. You broke the heads of monsters in the waters. It was you that crushed the heads of Leviathan and gave it as food to the creatures of the desert. It was you who opened up springs and streams. You dried up the ever-flowing rivers. The day is yours, and yours also the night. You established the sun and moon. It was you who all set the boundaries. Who set all the boundaries of the earth. You made both summer and winter.
This commentary says, most commentators see here remembrance of deliverance from Egypt, but you divided the sea, and references to sea serpents and Leviathan is a poetic reference to Egypt. It also seems to reference creation, the day, night, light, sun. But that also one can also see this connected to creation rather than Exodus. So some believe it might be created to Exodus, and some might be creation, maybe both. And then it talks about how it was the God who divided the sea and not any ancient legends that were coming into Israel at that time, like Baal or other people. So it was no false gods did it, only God.
This one also says that the psalmist mourns that God has allowed an enemy to obliterate the temple, the sanctuary of God in Israel. So that's why he's how long will you let them mock you, because they destroyed the temple. So that's the event.
Is there another question?
It just says what event is described here. So maybe the deliverance of Egypt or creation, and then the destroying of the temple.
Here it also says Psalm 74 is written from the perspective of the exile. So the Jews and then God's covenant people have experienced an invasion of the terrible, wicked armies. So that's when they did the temple.
And then it says, are there sea monsters, or is this poetic?
I think it's referencing actual things.
Yeah, I would say it's probably. It seems poetic from what we found about what it's actually about.
Yeah. Wait, what was the question?
Is there actually sea monsters, or is that poetic?
I think there could have been sea monsters, but they're not what is a sea monster? Just like a shark. Well, I think about Moses turned his staff into a snake. Weird things happened back then.
I think it's also talking about how past tense, there were Leviathans, but there's not anymore. Maybe it went extinct, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me check, but I think that might be the last one. That's the last one.
Reference is real. I think it's a giant crocodile.
So it was real.
Yeah. Well, I think about like all the animals that we know are extinct now. It could be real.
I think a lot of the verses itself are like a poetic song,
Yeah.
but it has real things inside it.
I agree.
The end.